Good morning. What a beautiful morning it turned out to be. My name is Teresa Hall-Little, but everybody calls me Terry. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to my family. This is my grandson Alex, my granddaughter Alana, and my husband is back here somewhere. Right there. Talk louder. We live in Houston and we've come here today to not only share our story, but to ask our legislature to leave Medicaid intact. In the spring of 2005, due to the all too prevalent issues that exist in our society today, mental illness, domestic violence, and drug and alcohol abuse, we felt that we had no other option but to fight for custody of our precious grandchildren, Lana and Alex. They were 4 months old and 15 months old at the time. Can you hear me?
Yes.
When we took custody of them, their Medicaid transferred over to us. As we are not the biological parents, the state of Texas considers them indigent. In November of 2005, after ruling out several other diseases, Alana was tentatively diagnosed with ataxia-telangiectasia, or AT, by a neurologist at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. AT is a rare. There's only approximately 500 children in the United States that have this disease. Progressive, degenerative, recessive genetic disorder. There had never been any family history of it, which is why it's called recessive. Imagine having a disease that combines the very worst symptoms of muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, cystic fibrosis, immune system deficiencies, and cancer all rolled in one. AT is fatal. The definitive diagnosis came in January of 2006 in the AT Clinical Center at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. Doctors at Hopkins informed us how lucky we were to have not only found a doctor that even knew what AT was, but was able to diagnose it. Upon returning home from Baltimore, we knew that we had to set up a healthcare team for Lana. It wasn't easy, but after searching for specialists who even knew what AT was, I finally heard about a neurologist at MD Anderson Cancer Center who was interested in setting up a clinic in Houston for children with AT. I called and made an appointment, and Lana has been a patient of Dr. John Slopas ever since that time. Dr. Susan Pacheco of Herman Children's Hospital was then brought in to be Lana's immunologist pulmonologist. Team Lana, as we call it, is headed up by our wonderful physician and pediatrician, Dr. Mathilde Rangan. To round out her care team, Lana receives speech and occupational therapy weekly at Texas Children's Hospital. We are very fortunate to live in Houston, which is home to some of the top specialists, researchers, and hospitals in the world. Lana's participation in the Medicaid program made this possible. On June 27, 2009, our oldest daughter, Brenna, who was Lana and Alex's mother, died at the age of 27 of a drug overdose. Prior to her death, and with her blessing, my husband and I had initiated the adoption proceedings. Less than 48 hours out from our court date, we were informed by our attorney ad litem that if we continued with the adoption, Alana and Alex would lose their Medicaid, as our income would preclude them from receiving coverage. As Lana has a pre-existing condition, our choices of private health insurance were almost nil, and the plans that would insure her would be cost prohibitive for us. Even if we could have afforded the premiums, the co-pays and deductibles. My husband will be turning 65 this year, and he can't work forever. While we were unable to adopt, we were able to terminate their father's parental rights and receive permanent custody of Lana and Alex. It's not what we wanted, but it's the best we could do. Fast forward to today. When we first heard that Texas is considering reducing the deficit by cutting back on Medicaid, we were literally sickened. The thought of losing Lana's carefully selected doctors due to reduction in physician reimbursement is not something I like to think about. The thought of the services that she receives being cut by 30% is downright frightening. If our legislature decides to make these cuts, we will not have any other healthcare options open for us or for her. We have worked all our lives to be productive citizens of our society. Dawn is an engineer, and me as a retired nurse, and then as a housewife. We've paid our taxes, we voted, we're homeowners. We cared for our aging parents until their deaths. We raised our children. In fact, our youngest daughter got married March 6th of this year. And at this point in our lives, we should have been looking forward to our retirement years. And yet, in the instant, our lives were changed. We didn't ask to raise 2 more children any more than Alex and Lana asked to be born. With that said, we would lay down our lives for our children. However, we don't kid ourselves about what our future holds, and I can assure you it's not pretty. The progression of Lana's AT has been relentless lately, and each day we see another piece of her die. I'd like you to take a good look at Lana if she'll put her head up. And she's very shy. And Alex. There are only 2 of the estimated 3 million children who live in Texas and are on Medicaid. On behalf of all of them, I implore you, please leave our Medicaid alone. Thank you, and God bless Texas.